Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? Welcome to Cat's Cottage. Got me a hot cup of coffee. Everybody doing all right? Let's see if anybody asked me any questions. Oh, you wanted to know what that noise was in the last morning video. That was a hawk right there at the end, a hawk. Isn't it strange how they make noise like they're telling everybody, um, I'm coming over here and I'm going to eat one of y'all. I always thought that noise is calling other hawks. At least that's what the internet says. But also, I think they try to frighten the birds because when that call comes out, y'all excuse me for doing that all the time. When that call goes out, the birds get excited and they leave the place that they're hiding or nesting or whatever. And the hawk, boy, he can see so good. And he sees them go and move around, and he even gets them in the air. Some of them are kind of slow going up, fly up, especially doves. They're really slow. But yeah. Hey, yesterday I looked in my greenhouse again, and that little wren, littlest bird ever, has made another mess for me. Has pulled down all my tubing. I put pool noodles that I had from the pool, slit them open, and put them up on my rods on the greenhouse. And reason being, once it heats up and that metal rod is pushing against that plastic, might break it down, make holes in it, begin to stretch it. So I put that pool noodle over this and run it down, under the plastic there. Anyway, the bird is just obsessed with pulling that stuff out. I'm going to have to zip tie it down. That's all. He just pulls it out. And I don't know, he's eating insects in it, which is a good thing, but you're making a mess for me. You're tearing up my junk. Anyway, I don't know where I'm going with this. I've done gone somewhere. Um, oh, it that I'm still praying for those people in Texas, and I was just elated they found those two little girls still alive. And anyway, um, that was just I just love that. I think I just you don't know how people survive, but we want to survive, and we're going to do what we can, and no matter the age, it's survival. Um, some of us don't make it, some of us do. Um, but anyway, I recall as a child in Hurricane Carla climbing in the attic. We all climbed in the attic. Uh, and some of the houses around there floated away up onto the railroad track, but Daddy's didn't. Now, this was just an old homemade house that the owner made, and we were renting it from him. It was a small house, but my daddy tied the houses down. He he put cable and put it really deep around the houses. He did everything he had that way. Now, he used to work at the shipyard, uh, you know, and maybe he knew some things. Uh, he was in the army, and then he was in the. He was a sailor. Then they probably had to tie everything down on those boats. Uh, he was in the merchant marines after that, and they delivered groceries and things for the soldiers, and everything was tied down. So maybe he learned all of that. But anyway, he tied our house down. Our house down was attached with cables, and it didn't go anywhere. And the man that built the house, I mean, he was just ecstatic. He thought it was his. I built this house good, didn't I? No, not really. It's just a little wood house, and my daddy tied it down. But no, it didn't go anywhere. And but we were in the attic. Just rafters. There's no floor, just rafters and sheetrock. And Daddy put all his chickens in there, and we could go out the roof if we had to tear the roof out. But we stayed at that house until that water receded, and some of the neighbors' houses had floated down. One just gone, and the other one floated and went up on, sitting on railroad track, right on top of it. Of course, they got it back with a crane and put it back where it was. Just sitting on blocks. Our house was sitting on blocks too, and they were amazed that the house didn't go anywhere. But anyhow, that's a long time ago. Um, but it's something, you don't ever, it doesn't ever leave you. That, they say like, well, these people are in shock. Well, of course they're in shock. Their life has been torn apart. Just a matter of hours, just gone. Their life's gone. So, yeah, I, you anybody would be in shock. So, but anyway, I'll quit talking about that. And I'm excited for the day. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but I'm excited to do something. Who knows? I might even leave here with I might go somewhere, go to the store, you know, go shopping. I don't know what I might do. You know, I do a lot of shopping in my older age where I didn't do it when I was young. Didn't like to go shopping. If I knew what I wanted, I'd go do that. But it was very short and quick. It never was very long. But now I just, what the heck? Um, and it's not like I'm trying to find something to do. I have a lot to do. You know, it's just I like doing it now. And I used to go to estate sales for years uh, with a bunch of friends, and we'd go, we'd shop, and then we'd have lunch. And I don't know what it was about. Was it the shopping or was it the lunch? I don't know. But we didn't get much in it. We'd get maybe a little piece of furniture, or maybe a lamp, maybe a ladder. I got teased about buying ladders for a while. I bought ladders till I had all the ladders I need. And then I'd buy lamps, and I bought all the lamps I could use. I'd go from one thing to the other, and it's laughed at, made fun of. What are you buying all them lamps? But it wasn't as much fun as it is now. It is really super fun now. And I'm mostly picking up trash. Stuff people don't want in these garages at these estate sales. They don't want that stuff. You know, old doilies, holes all torn in them. Old pieces of boxes, old pots broken, um, old rusty arbors, all that stuff. It's exciting now. I just love it. Bought an old rusty bike, put it in the middle of my flower bed. An old tricycle, put it in the middle of my flowers. It's exciting me. I just like that old crap. Oh gosh. Well, um, I emptied the house out at once. I've emptied this house out a couple of times. Sold, sold it all out, got rid of stuff. But let's go round. Um, I really don't want to empty it. I like it. I like all the stuff. But we change as we go through life. We change. Um, I see some pictures and some videos where they've got their young people and their house is really empty, real bare, and they're just showing how they just decorated it. And I think to myself, honey, you ain't seen nothing. That ain't decorating. Decorating is when you just keep piling it in. You know, it melt it in there. Let it melt on into the house. You know, that's decorating. Putting a chair here and a table here and a lamp and paint the wall. That ain't decorating. That's just cleaning the place up, getting it ready to decorate. Oh yeah. Y'all don't pay any attention to me. I'm a nutcase. That's what my husband says anyway. He said, hadn't everybody you know has called you crazy? I said, well, no. You sure? Little night birds are calling. Little night birds. And they're in the trees and in the bushes. Little night birds mostly live in the bushes, not trees. And but anyway, I love hearing them out here. And Mr. Frog or Mrs. Frog, you've had a load of frogs. I could probably go into the frog business. Maybe frog legs. My husband loves frog legs. And I tell him all, don't you bother my frogs. No, you leave them frogs alone. But no, he'd rather go buy them already made up, you know. And I used to go frog gigging with my daddy. And we'd go at night, you know, in the boats, in our old boat, small boat. We'd go down through the creeks and the really they're just ditches, but that was the creeks. And I was the flashlight person, and he'd shine, you know, I'd shine a light down, and he'd say, "No, that's a gator." Shine on until we found the frogs. He'd get tons of frogs, and the gators, the eyes are red down underwater with the flashlight, you know, and gators don't really bother you. All that gator stuff about Alcatraz, it's hilarious. The only time they're going to bother you if you go down into their water and mess around their territory, you know, and they may see you as something to nibble on, and they like to store food. They'll take you and roll you till you drowned, and then drag you to their nest and bury you into the mud. And that's their future food. There, I've gone down into a rabbit hole again, talking about the gators. But it is hilarious how many jokes and comics y'all have made about alligators. A reptile that everybody's forgot about, and all of a sudden they're famous. Oh gosh. But anyway, when I was 16, I had a pair of alligator shoes. They were black. And my grandma got me signed in to I don't know what it's called, but where you sign in and you stay 2 years in it in high school and in the Air Force. And I was in there 6 months maybe, and I left. But I had alligator shoes, black alligator shoes. That's all I had. That's all I could afford. When I went to my mama took me to buy me a pair of shoes, and that for the year. You better make them last. Well, they didn't want me wearing those shoes, and everybody you had to wear black shoes, but they were their kind of shoes. But that's all I had was alligator shoes, and they constantly wore me out about that. And oh yeah, I'm getting some. I'm going to get some. Uh, But I was harassed in there so much by boys. Just ones that were overranked over my head, and they'd make me walk different places in the dark and try to molest me. And I finally quit that after 6 months. The one that was the worst was the boss. I call him boss. I don't remember anymore. He's a captain or whatever he was, commander. And his son just pestered me to death. And after I quit a while, and then my grandmother was really upset. She wanted me to go into the Air Force. She could see me graduating high school and going right into the Air Force, because what you got was, depending on how long you were in this, and how, if you came every week like you were supposed to, you got a 2-year advancement in there. And that meant you went in with more pay. And that's what she was trying to do. She was trying to help me. I didn't really understand what she was doing. Uh, anyway, when she found out I quit and everything, she got to me right away, wanted to know what's going on. And I told her about it. And I told her about I had the uniform, because they gave me the uniform, but I didn't have the shoes. And I told her about that. And then I told her about that boy and the boys. And she was really upset. She said, "Why in the world didn't you come to tell me? I'd have helped you. I'd have straightened that all out, and I'd have got you those shoes. Why didn't you tell me?" She said, "Well, you go back and I'll straighten it out." I'm like, no, I'll be blackballed in there. I mean, I'll be treated miserable, in there. I'm not going back. I didn't understand what I was giving up. And, but anyway, I had some alligator shoes. Boy, and they were comfortable too. I loved them. Anyway, I guess I've talked enough. I'm close to the 20-minute mark again. And I just want to say hello to everybody and thank you. And not many of you are subscribed, really. I see how many are coming in and looking, and you're not subscribed to me at all. And I'd like to hit that 4,000 mark, you know? Uh, and I'm doing what I can to get my identification straightened out. And I'm just going to keep going and going and going until they finally say, "Okay, lady, well, I'll take that maiden name off of there." I know it's going to happen. I just got to keep forcing the issue. So, but anyway, enough about that. Uh, I'll talk to y'all again. I don't know. I'll come back with something. Who knows? But y'all take care. And I enjoyed talking to you. Okay? Bye-bye.